Special Little Nobodies presents Colonizers Crushed, the Moors in Spain. In the year 711, an army crossed from Africa into Europe and changed the course of history. What followed was not a brief invasion, but nearly 8 centuries of rule, innovation, and cultural transformation. In Al-Andalus, the Moors built cities of learning, science, and art, while Europe stood at the edge of the Dark Ages. Yet their presence would be challenged, resisted, and ultimately erased by force. This is the story of how African and Islamic civilization reshaped Spain, and how empire, fear, and conquest brought it to an end.
In the year 711, across the Strait of Gibraltar, an army of Africans prepared to change the course of European history. Led by the Berber general Tariq ibn Ziyad, they landed on the Iberian Peninsula with fire in their hearts. According to legend, Tariq burned his ships, leaving his men no choice but victory. At the Battle of Guadalete, the Moors crushed the Visigothic king, opening Spain to conquest. In a few years, nearly all of Iberia was under Moorish control. They called it Al-Andalus, a land where Africa and Europe met, and civilizations flourished. Under Moorish rule, Spain became a beacon of knowledge, culture, and innovation. The city of Córdoba rivaled any in Europe, its great mosque a marvel of architecture. Mathematics, astronomy, and medicine flourished, their discoveries lighting the path for Europe's Renaissance. Art, music, and poetry filled the courts of Granada and Seville. Jewish, Christian, and Muslim communities coexisted, a rare harmony in medieval Europe. From irrigation canals to papermaking, Moorish Spain thrived as Europe's jewel. But in the north, Christian kingdoms resisted, their reconquista slowly gathering strength. For centuries, the frontier shifted back and forth, battles raging across Spain's hills and valleys. Yet, Moorish science and culture continued to shine, even in times of war. The Alhambra in Granada became their crowning masterpiece, a palace of poetry carved in stone. Inside, walls bore verses of the Quran, reminding all who entered that art and faith were one. But as the 15th century dawned, Christian kingdoms united under Ferdinand and Isabella, determined to end Moorish rule. Granada, the last Moorish stronghold, stood defiant against overwhelming Christian forces. Sultan Boabdil held the city, but his people were weary after months of siege. In January 1492, he surrendered Granada, ending nearly 8 centuries of Moorish presence in Spain. As he left, legend says his mother told him, "Weep like a woman for what you could not defend as a man." Though Moorish rule ended, their legacy remained in architecture, language, science, and spirit. The guitar, algebra, citrus fruits, and even words like alcohol trace back to Moorish Spain. Europe's Renaissance would not have shone so brightly without the lamps first lit in Al-Andalus. Today, the Alhambra and Cordoba's mosque stand as testaments to this golden age. The Moors brought Africa into Europe, and in doing so, reshaped the Western world. Their story is one of conquest, culture, and resilience across centuries. And though their empire fell, their influence remains in every arch, every song, every word. The Moors of Al-Andalus remind us, history is not erased, it is written in stone.
For nearly 8 centuries, Al-Andalus stood as proof that civilization is not bound by borders, nor knowledge by race or faith. The Moors transformed the Iberian Peninsula, building cities of learning, preserving science, advancing medicine, and shaping art, language, and architecture that endure to this day. Their fall was not the result of decline alone, but of conquest, expulsion, and erasure. Yet history cannot fully erase what was built in stone, written in scholarship, and carried forward through influence. Al-Andalus reminds us that when civilizations collide, ideas often outlive empires. For those who wish to explore this history further, essential works include The Ornament of the World by Maria Rosa Menocal, Muslim Spain and Portugal by Hugh Kennedy, and The Arabs in History by Bernard Lewis. Together, these studies preserve the record of Al-Andalus, a civilization whose legacy continues long after its rule ended.